Good morning. Welcome to Morning Special. 여러분 안녕하세요. 12월 18일 수요일 최수진의 Morning Special입니다. Interest in our country is certainly growing by the day. Songs, TV shows, movies, and clothes. Food, well, you name it. But this means to learn it. It means to learn it's also increasing and becoming super original too. Among those, how about learning how to play dakji? 네, 미국 캘리포니아주 써니베일에 있는 다솜 한국 학교가 딱지놀이를 하면서 한국의 문화와 역사를 배울 수 있는 교재를 발간했습니다. 이 교재는 학습을 한 뒤 친구와 함께 딱지를 입으로 불거나 날려서 멀리 보내기, 또 별의 개수로 승부를 가리는 게임 등 전통 딱지놀이를 하면서 한글과 우리 문화를 익힐 수 있다고 하네요. Well, when it comes to learning, it certainly helps to use memorable and fun methods, and surely dakji will live up to such ideal. With that in mind, here's a quiz question. And decades ago, even when we didn't have smartphones or tablet PCs, I can hear something in the background there were plenty of toys and games that children enjoyed, and among them was 1번 top spinning, 2번 AlphaGo, 아니면 3번 smart speakers. I'm going to have to ask Steve to help me out with something that is ringing in the studio, but that is, of course, the merit of a live show there. Alright, 청취자 여러분의 많은 참여 기다리고 있습니다. 퀴즈 정답 보내주신 분들 중에 추첨을 통해서 총 5분께 고칼슘 쌀룬 두유 보내드리겠습니다. 여러분의 소식과 소개 그리고 방송 중 궁금한 질문 있으시면 보내주세요. 짧은 문자 50원, 긴 문자 100원에 샵 1045 반디 게시판이나 카카오톡 플러스 이용도 가능합니다. Let's kick off today's live show with today's global headlines. 세계 각국 언론사들의 어떤 헤드라인이 올라왔는지 살펴보는 시간입니다. Touch Global Headlines.
UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson is reportedly seeking to add a new clause to the withdrawal agreement bill to rule out any extension of Brexit beyond the end of next year.
보리스 존슨 영국 총리가 내년 말 영국이 EU와 완전히 결별하도록 EU 탈퇴 협정 법안 수정을 추진하고 있다고 BBC 방송 등 외신이 보도했습니다.
Boeing has decided to temporarily halt production of the 737 MAX aircraft after 2 deadly crashes forced airlines in about 40 countries to ground the model from their fleets.
미국 항공기 제조사 보잉이 2차례 여객기 참사로 전 세계 40여 개국에서 운항 정지된 737 맥스 기종의 생산을 내년 1월부터 일시 중단하기로 했습니다.
The U.S. Congress has agreed on a federal spending bill that will allow government employees to take paternity leaves and raise the age limit to buy tobacco products to 21, among other legislations.
미국 의회가 연방 공무원의 유급 육아 휴가제, 담배 구매 연령 21세 상향 등의 내용을 담은 내년도 예산안 승인을 앞두고 있습니다.
Chinese stocks rallied in the first 2 days of the week after investor sentiment was buoyed by China and the United States announcing their Phase 1 trade deal.
미중 1단계 무역 합의와 중국의 경제지표 호전 속에서 중국 증시가 연일 상승세를 타고 있습니다.
U.S. streaming service Hulu has announced it is making a documentary of environmental activist Greta Thunberg.
미국 온라인 스트리밍 업체 훌루가 스웨덴 환경운동가 그레타 툰베리를 소재로 한 오리지널 다큐멘터리를 제작하기로 했습니다. And for the headlines and more, I'm joined by Steve. Good morning.
The headlines and more, and my iPad alarm clock.
Was that what it was?
I'm so sorry. I was sitting here going, Sue forgot to turn off her alarm. And then I noticed, wait a minute, the sound's not from over there. And I turned around in my bag. Oh, I brought my tablet PC today. I apologize. But hey,
it's a live show.
That's how you know we're live.
Exactly.
How you doing this morning?
I'm doing very well. Our opening today was about how how people in America are now using Korean games to learn Korean.
That's fun.
To teach Korean.
That's a good method, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it really is.
Yeah, so the game takji is being used. That's the one where they take, is it the folded papers?
Yeah.
And they slam them on the ground?
맞아요.
Okay, I saw that many times, but I still do. Okay, so I have a couple of questions. The folded papers, do you buy them that way or do you have to make them?
You usually make them.
Okay.
But you could buy them that way, I suppose, but they're very easy to make.
Oh, I see. So I was wondering if it's going to be like some sort of strategy when you're folding your papers, try to make it heavier on one side.
I think there might be. Yeah, because for some reason, you think it's just sheer luck.
Yeah.
But some kids, they always win. So either it's the good folding, good paper, or very good throwing.
Arm movements,
Arm
right?
movement, exactly.
Yeah, it's fun. It's interesting, and it's the big news here, or the great news here, is that more and more people are learning the Korean language overseas.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in university, one of my friends, he was studying Japanese at the time, and some people were studying German and others Italian. But Korean wasn't really on the map. It wasn't really on the radar as an option for people to study. But now, obviously, things have changed dramatically, right?
Exactly. I think it's amazing that when I go overseas, when I travel to some place where I don't expect people to speak Korean, I tell them that I'm from Korea, and immediately they'll say something in Korean.
Yeah.
This never used to happen about 2 decades ago. They would say, oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
But now they're like, 안녕하세요, 뭐 사랑합니다, 뭐 BTS 좋아요, 뭐 이런 얘기를 하더라고요.
It's really fun when I'm overseas, and it happens on almost every single trip that I'm on. I don't know what it is, but I naturally gravitate towards Korean people.
Really?
And when I was on vacation this time, I did kind of a wine tasting thing, which is really fun, by the way.
Yeah.
If you ever get a chance, you should do it. And the other people in the group were Korean people. And I thought, let's have a little bit of fun here because we're in Vietnam, right? And I'm a white person, obviously.
Right.
But let's have a bit of fun. So in the wine tasting, I spoke some Korean, and they said, "Oh my goodness!" I said, "Yeah, I live in Seoul." And it was a lot of fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, earlier on, that sound that was going on during my opening, a lot of our listeners thought it was their phones ringing.
I shouldn't have said anything.
강지선 님이요. 제 건 줄 알고 거실로 나갔어요. 김금숙 님이 스티브 선생님, 저는요 갑자기 거실로 나가서 한참을 찾아 헤맸어요. 7204님, 크크크, 같은 알람 소리라서 방송 듣다가 저도 제 핸드폰을 한참 찾았어요.
It shows you how many people use that phone and
Exactly.
that alarm sound.
Everyone thought
right?
it was theirs.
Yeah, it's ingrained in everyone's mind.
I
Yeah.
thought it was mine, and I don't even have an
Well,
iPhone.
why did you think it was yours if you have a different company's phone? Is it the
It has
same
the same
sound?
sound.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that's universal. That's a fun start to the show today.
그렇습니다. If you'd like to listen to the headlines again and laugh a bit because there's something in the background there, you can do so by going to our website. In the meantime, let's go over the stories.
Headline number one this morning. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson is reportedly seeking to add a new clause to the withdrawal agreement bill to rule out any extension of Brexit beyond the end of next year.
보리스 존슨 영국 총리가 내년 말 영국이 유럽연합과 완전히 결별하도록 EU 탈퇴 협정 법안 수정을 추진하고 있다고 BBC 방송 등 외신이 보도했습니다.
So the post-Brexit transition period is due to conclude on December 31st of 2020, and it can currently be extended by mutual agreement for up to 2 years if they so decide that. But this amendment to the withdrawal agreement bill that the Commons is set to vote on this week would rule out that extension.
Right.
1 year or 2 years, both of those options will be done. And the PM of England told the MPs, Boris Johnson told MPs, it would put an end to 3 years of deadlock and delay.
네, PM 그러면 총리를 뜻합니다. Prime Minister. 그동안에 브렉시트가 너무 많이 연장이 됐었잖아요. We saw lots of extensions happen in the past. And when I say the past, actually it's just last year. But now, for next year, that final date, December 31st, 2020, is going to be the last ever date. And of course, Brexit itself will happen at the end of January, right? 그러니까 1월 말에 이제 브렉시트 이행을 하는데요. 2020년 12월 말까지가 그 이제 브렉시트를 이행하는 최종 어떤 날짜라고 볼 수 있습니다.
There are critics to this, though, to Boris Johnson's decision to try to get the extensions off the table. They're saying, and we have to remember that this is a trade negotiation, right? This is going to become a trade deal between England and the EU. And trade deals typically take a very long time to negotiate. So some people are saying that they can't, there's no way that they can get this done before December 31st, 2020. So they're going to have to go without a deal. And this could hurt people in England in the future. But Boris Johnson, he says he wants to get Brexit done.
그렇습니다. 왜냐하면은 무엇이든지 어떤 큰 변화가 있을 때는 그 트랜지션이 필요하죠. 그래서 그런 전환 기간을 내년 1월 말부터 내년 12월 말까지로 보는 것입니다. 그 이행 기간이 이제 변함이 없을 것으로 보여집니다. 영국에서 이제 어떻게 해서든 법으로도 이 날짜를 더 이상 연장하지 못하도록 한다는 거고요. 내년 1월 31일 날 이제 어떻게 보면 형식적으로 브렉시트를 단행한다 하더라도 연말까지는 그러니까 지금 현 상태가 유지가 될 수 있지만 조금씩 전환을 하면서 결국 2021년 1월 1일부터는 진짜 본격적으로 이제 유럽을 떠나게 되는 거죠.
One of those critics is Brexit Secretary, Shadow Brexit Secretary Sir Keir Starmer, and he said that the move was reckless and irresponsible. He also argued that Boris Johnson was prepared to put people's jobs at risk. That's one critic. Another critic, Liberal Democrat interim leader Sir Ed Davey, said the only way Johnson can meet the December 2020 timetable is by giving up all of his previous promises to leave voters and agreeing to all of the demands of the EU. So you might question, well, then why would Boris Johnson want to get this done by the end of 2020 without the extensions? One reason they say is because he wants to prove to his voters, especially the voters that just came on to this Brexit deal, he wants to prove to them that he wants to get it done.
Yeah.
And the other reason is if they have a hard deadline in place, they speculate that it could push negotiators to want to get the deal done more quickly, as opposed to having a 1 or 2 year extension where they think, oh, we don't need to get this done as quickly as possible, therefore it might take longer and longer.
Could you briefly explain for our listeners what a shadow secretary is?
Not official government post, but from the opposition.
그렇습니다. 영국 내에서 물론 반발이 있습니다. 그래서 이제 내년에 브렉시트를 단행을 하고 내년 말까지 이행을 한다라는 것에 대해서 그렇게 짧은 시간 안에 브렉시트가 제대로 진행이 되려면은 사실 EU의 여러 가지 요구 조건에 만 영국이 오케이를 하는 수밖에 없을 것 같다. 영국 국민들의 얘기를 들을 수가 있겠느냐라는 비판의 목소리도 있다라는 얘기를 하면서 이제 Shadow Secretary가 그런 말을 했다. 이런 얘기를 해주셨습니다. Of course, now it does look like a date has been set and Brexit will happen. The outcome, of course, is something we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, so now we know Brexit is going to happen. Now we're looking at new delays potentially, right?
Indeed. Let's go over our next headline.
Boeing has decided to temporarily halt production of the 737 MAX aircraft after 2 deadly crashes forced airlines in about 40 countries to ground the model from their fleets.
미국 항공기 제조사 보잉이 2차례 여객기 참사로 전 세계 40여 개국에서 운항 정지된 737 맥스 기종의 생산을 내년 1월부터 일시 중단하기로 했습니다.
Production of the 737 MAX had continued, actually, despite the model being grounded for 9 months after the 2 deadly crashes. And the crashes I'm talking about are the ones where more than 300 people died when 2 of those aircraft crashed in Indonesia and Ethiopia after reported problems with a new feature to the plane. Boeing, they had been hoping to have the planes back in the air by the end of this year, but U.S. regulators made it clear that they would not be certified to return to the skies that quickly.
I remember reporting on the deaths months ago, and a total of 346 people died because of the faulty aircrafts. So temporarily, at least, these aircrafts will no longer be produced.
That is correct. And last week, a congressional hearing was told that U.S. aviation regulators, they were aware following the first crash in Indonesia in October of 2018 that there was a risk of further accidents. And the Federal Aviation Authority's analysis suggested that there could be more than a dozen more crashes over the lifetime of the aircraft unless changes were made to its design. But despite that, the 737 MAX was not grounded until after the second crash in Ethiopia in March of this year. So Boeing now is redesigning the automated control system, thought to have been the primary cause of the accidents.
But this could cause a huge dent for the aeronautics industry.
It's going to hurt Boeing, first of all, that's for sure. It's already cost them around $9 billion, and even shares fell more than 4% on Monday because there was speculation that production would be suspended. But further hurt would be the suppliers. For example, there's one fuselage maker. The fuselage is kind of the tube part of the airplane. Their company is called Spirit Aerosystems, and they are highly dependent on this particular aircraft. More than half of its revenue is attached to that. So you will see suppliers and people's jobs that will be affected by this.
네, 그렇습니다. 내년 1월부터 이 보잉 맥스 737 기종이 더 이상 생산이 되지 않을 것입니다. 물론 일시적으로 중단하는 것이지만요. 그에 따라서 이제 항공우주업계의 매출이 굉장히 많이 감소할 것이다. 이렇게 전문가들은 보고 있고요. 그 이제 사망자가 무려 346명이나 발생했던 이 기종이죠.
In terms of passengers and airlines, passengers themselves, people like you and I, probably not going to be affected by this at all. But for airlines, it's a different story because now they have to ground those 737 MAX airplanes, which means they have to lease new ones.
Yeah.
And they have to pay for that. Back in July, Boeing set aside about $5 billion to compensate those affected, but it does have its effect financially on the airlines as well.
Okay, let's go over to the US for headline number 3.
The U.S. Congress has agreed on a federal spending bill that will allow government employees to take paternity leaves and also raise the age limit to buy tobacco products to 21, among other legislations.
미국 의회가 연방 공무원의 육아 휴가제, 또 담배 구매 연령 21세 상향 등의 내용을 담은 내년도 예산안 승인을 앞두고 있습니다.
So Congress negotiators, they finalized about $1.3 trillion on federal spending deals. They are expected to pass the legislation this week ahead of Friday's shutdown deadline and send it over to the president, Mr. Trump, for his signature. Talking about a few different things here. Let's talk about the wall because that was an issue, right?
Okay.
So that was the issue for last year's 35-day partial government shutdown a year ago. That was resolved, but they went to the status quo. And what that means is that the spending for 2020 will remain unchanged from its 2019 levels of $1.375 billion. Of course, that is well short of the $5 billion that President Trump requested from Congress.
네, 그렇습니다. 이 이제 예산안 승인 내용을 조금 더 면밀히 살펴보면은 사실 여러 가지가 있습니다만 그 중에서 미국 연방 공무원이 처음으로 12주 동안 육아 휴가를 갈 수 있다라는 내용이 또 눈길을 끌거든요. Tell us about the parental leave.
Yeah, the parental leave. So this is going to give 12 weeks of paid leave to mothers and fathers of newborns, also newly adopted children or foster children. Trump said that he will sign this into law, and this policy will apply to all new parents, not just birth moms.
Yeah. I thought it was very interesting because I would have thought that in America they would have had parental leave already. But,
I was shocked too.
Yeah.
The United States remains the only industrialized country that does not federally mandate paid parental leave. So that means that the vast majority of American workers do not get paid time off to care for a new child. That was shocking to me.
그렇군요. 그래서 미국에서 이번에 이제 처음으로 혜택을 보게 될 공무원들이 한 210만 명 정도라고 합니다. 2.1 million people will be able to benefit from this new policy. So that's going to be great.
Those are 2.1 million happy people.
그렇습니다. 거기에도 이제 예산이 들어가고요. 그다음에 담배를 구매할 수 있는 연령이 현재는 18살인데 21살로 올라간다고 하죠. It's going to be more difficult to buy cigarettes.
Up to 21, that's another change there. And also more money for gun violence studies as well.
All right. Let's check our next headline.
Chinese stocks rallied in the first 2 days of the week after investor sentiment was buoyed by China and the United States announcing their Phase 1 trade deal.
미중 1단계 무역 합의와 중국의 경제지표 호전 속에서 중국 증시가 연일 상승세를 타고 있습니다.
Yep, mainland Chinese stocks jumped at the close on Monday afternoon as data showed that China's industrial output and also retail sales rose more than expected in November. The Shanghai Composite rose 0.56%. Shenzhen component jumped 1.54%, and the composite in Shenzhen went up 1.56%. U.S. stocks were up, Korean stocks were up, Japanese stocks were up, Hong Kong, Australia as well.
그렇습니다. 전 세계적으로 이렇게 증시가 상승하는 모습을 볼 수 있는데요. 중국 같은 경우에는 이제 미중 무역의 합의가 체결될 것이다. 이런 뉴스가 나간 이후부터 계속 특히 상하이 종합지수 같은 경우 상승세를 보이고 있습니다. Over in America and here in Korea, same sort of story. 뉴욕 증시도 일제히 상승을 해서요. 그 3대 지수, Dow Jones, S&P 500, Nasdaq 같은 경우 사상 최고치 경신의 흐름을 계속 이어가고 있습니다. 국내에서는 코스피, 코스닥 모두 상승세를 보이면서 어제도 이제 장을 마감했습니다.
Sol Tae-hyun is an analyst at South Korea's DB Financial Investment, and he said that if the Phase 1 deal is implemented, expectations for a global economic recovery will have a positive impact on the local stock market here in this country.
Fingers crossed that something really does happen, a breakthrough between America and China. Our final story, please.
Interesting. U.S. streaming service Hulu has announced it is making a documentary of environmentalist or environmental activist Greta Thunberg.
미국 온라인 스트리밍 업체인 훌루가 스웨덴 환경운동가 그레타 툰베리를 소재로 한 오리지널 다큐멘터리를 제작하기로 했습니다.
So it's going to be an original documentary. The subject will be about Greta Thunberg. The title, it's a working title, but they think they're going to call it Greta right now. It's going to come out sometime in 2020. And this is what it's all about. I'll read to you here. In August 2018, Thunberg, a 15-year-old student in Sweden, starts a school strike for the climate. Her question for adults: if you don't care about my future on Earth, why should I care about my future in school? Within months, her strike evolves into a global movement. The quiet teenage girl on the autism spectrum becomes a world-famous activist.
네, 그렇습니다. 작년에 이제 15세의 나이로 처음에 이런 기후변화 뭐 어떤 대응을 촉구하는 시위를 시작했었죠. 지금 이제 16살인데 그레타 툰베리를 소재로 한 가제 그레타라는 다큐멘터리가 나올 예정입니다. 그 안에는 이제 또 어떻게 해서 그 Person of the Year로 선정이 됐는지 또 이제 트럼프 대통령과의 여러 가지 그 갈등들 또 다룰 것으로 예상이 되고 있어서 내년에 이제 방영이 될 예정인데요. 궁금합니다. I'm very curious to see how this documentary will turn out.
I think a lot of people will be watching this documentary because she has so many fans. Michelle Obama is a fan. Leonardo DiCaprio is a fan. Woody Harrelson, Arnold Schwarzenegger, they are fans. So I'm sure that they will help in the promotion of this documentary too.
Definitely. Well, those were the headlines for today. Morning Special 홈페이지 방문하시면은요. 헤드라인 다시 듣기에서 다시 확인하실 수 있습니다. Now, before going on to a song break, we're going to remind you of the quiz. quiz 한번 다시 알려주세요.
Decades ago, even when we didn't have smartphones or tablet PCs, there were plenty of toys and games that children enjoyed. Among them was blank. Number 1, top spinning. Number 2, AlphaGo. Or number 3, smart speakers.
짧은 문자 50원, 긴 문자 100원에 샵 1045로 보내주시고요. 반디 게시판이나 카카오톡 플러스 이용도 가능합니다. 힌트를 좀 드리자면은요. top라는 단어에는 팽이라는 뜻이 있습니다. 너무 큰 힌트였나요? 자, 총 5분께 고칼슘 살룬 두유 보내드리겠습니다. The Real Group의 Song from the Snow 듣고 와서 뉴스 포커스 살펴볼게요.
I just got to set my alarm for
네,
news focus.
끄고 오세요, 선생님. 네, 노래 듣고 올게요. You're listening to Morning Special. 김혜선 님이요. 우리 아들 주머니와 책가방에서는 늘 딱지가 나왔어요. 라고 하시면서 우리 오프닝에 있었던 딱지 얘기를 해주셨습니다. It's a very popular thing for kids to carry around, I guess. It's easy to make, and fun to play. So
easy to transport. You don't have to spend much money on it to make it.
Indeed.
Do kids design the papers? Put extra stickers on them or something?
I think they do. Yeah.
personalize them, right?
I mean, because I didn't spend my childhood here, I'm not too familiar with it, but I have seen a lot of kids do it. You know, play these 딱지 games. 8583님이요. 어릴 적 방에서 팽이 돌리느라고 방바닥 많이 구멍 내서 엄마한테 혼났어요. 추억이 새록새록. I made a lot of holes in the floor when I was younger because I loved spinning my top.
So you put the little tiny...
How hard did you
my
spin your
goodness.
top to make holes in the ground? But yeah, it's fun.
I guess it would be a challenge these days, especially if you live in an apartment building, because if you have downstairs neighbors who are sensitive to noise, a lot of people will put those padded, those padded flooring mats in their home. So you can't really spin a top on those things, right?
푹신한 매트 위에서는 팽이를 돌릴 수가 없죠.
Got to go outside for that, I guess.
그렇습니다. Did you ever play with, anything like this? 딱지 or 팽이? What did you play with in Canada?
When I was a kid, I remember one of my favorite toys, and I think they had it here in Korea too. It was this kind of mini toy car game where you hook it up to your table, like your kitchen table.
Yeah.
So the top of it was a plastic track, and the top of the track you would attach to your kitchen table. And then the track would come down to the floor, and then it would follow this, path or whatever. And then you put the car in at the top.
Yeah.
And then it just follows the track. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do, yeah.
It's called like Hot Tracks or something like that.
I think they still have that.
Do they really?
Yeah.
That was fun for me when I was a kid.
되게 오래된 장난감이군요.
Yeah, that's a
몰랐어요.
long time ago. I also had a Cabbage Patch Kid. Do you remember those?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's so cute.
Yeah, I had a little boy Cabbage Patch Kid.
너무 좋아했었어요.
I really wanted
양배추
him.
인형 어렸을 때. 선생님도 그걸 가지고 노셨다니. 귀엽습니다. 이현정님, good morning. 진주는 흐린 아침입니다. 저는 오늘 늦잠 자서 이제 운동 가요. 모스 여러분들 오늘도 행복한 하루 보내세요 하셨습니다. Yeah, it's not the best of days looking at the sky right now, but, it's all right.
Could be worse.
Yeah, could be worse, exactly.
Off to exercise this morning.
Yeah.
Jung-nim, enjoy your exercise. Oh, Paul just let me know what that was called. I said Hot Tracks, right? The car thing?
Yeah.
Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels.
Do you remember the name? Does it ring a bell?
It does ring a bell, but I wasn't sure exactly.
Ooh,
now I remember.
Expression
that
of the
rings
day.
a bell.
Ring a bell. We'll come back to that later.
Okay. Keep sending in your messages and greetings. We have 5 고칼슘 쌀룬 두유s for you. And we're going to select our winners in the first hour. But first, let's look at our News Focus stories. 자, 그러면 News Focus 살펴보도록 하겠습니다. 얼마 전 저희도 소개해드린 바가 있죠. 34세의 나이로 세계 최연소 총리가 된 산나 마린, 핀란드 총리를 두고 이웃나라 에스토니아의 70대 내무장관이 Sales Girl, 여점원이라고 조롱을 해서 논란이 되고 있습니다. Let's listen to the story.
Estonia's president has apologized after his country's interior minister mocked Finland's new prime minister, the world's youngest-serving government leader. Mart Helmu, 70, the leader of the populist far-right party ECRA, ridiculed Finland's Sanna Marin, 34, and her government, saying, how we see how one salesgirl has become a prime minister and how some other street activists and non-educated people have also joined the cabinet on his party's radio talk show on Sunday. Marin, who has spoken about growing up in a disadvantaged family, worked as a cashier before studying at university and embarking on a political career.
Well, you know what? Sanna Marin, she took this whole mockery with so much grace.
You have to, though, right? I mean, that's what you need to do as a political leader. You need to respond appropriately with the proper manners. I'm sure she must have been furious inside.
But instead of saying, how dare you, she wrote on Twitter, I'm extremely proud of Finland, which is where she's from. And she said, here, a poor family's child can educate themselves, achieve their goals in life. A cashier can can even become a prime minister. And she was referring to herself.
Yes, that's right,
Yeah.
which is an amazing accomplishment. And it's a wonderful message for young people, not only in her country, but across the world, boys and girls alike. So it was extremely rude what happened to her. And you're right, she handled it very, very well.
네, 그렇습니다. 굉장히 침착하게 화내지 않고 이렇게 생각을 하시는군요 하면서 트위터에다가 그렇지만 우리나라가 라고 하면서 이제 핀란드 얘기를 했는데요. 이렇게 뭐 캐시어, 점원 일을 했던 아가씨가 저처럼 이게 총리가 될 수 있게끔 하는 이 나라가 얼마나 멋있습니까? 라고 하면서 굉장히 잘 받아들인 것 같아요.
Amazing though, isn't it? 34 years old and the leader of a country. Incredible.
Yeah, really.
Even without the backstory. That's incredible on its own, isn't it?
그렇습니다.
Yeah. Anyway, Estonia's president has apologized after his country's interior minister mocked Finland's new prime minister. So when you mock someone, then you are making fun of them. You are teasing them. Now, it might be for good reasons or bad reasons. You know, if I say something like this, and with that said, let's move on to the quiz.
Are you mocking me, Steve?
I am mocking you, but I'm doing it out of love. So you can do it out of love.
Hang on, let me see if my phone's on. Ding, 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 ding.
And now you're mocking me. Yes, very well done. So you can mock someone out of love, but you can do it out of hate, I suppose, as well. And in this case, obviously, this was not done out of love.
네, 놀리다라는 뜻의 mock somebody라고 할 수 있거든요. 비슷한 표현이 하나 더 나오는데 ridicule. Is it similar?
It is very, very similar. Mock and ridicule are extremely similar words, but I think, and Sue and I agreed on this during the break, that ridicule is a more serious form of mock. So like I said, mocking can be done out of love, but if you're ridiculing someone, then you're mocking them, but it's more serious and it's not done out of anything out of love.
네, 그렇습니다. ridicule 그러면은 이제 비웃다라는 의미가 있어요. 물론 사전적인 의미를 찾아보면 mock하고 ridicule 둘 다 조롱하다라는 공통된 의미도 있습니다. 그래서 이 기사에서는 그런 의미로 이해를 하시면 되겠지만 실생활에서는요, mock는 조금 더 가벼운 느낌이 있다면 스티브 선생님과 제가 이게 자주 놀리잖아요. 그런 느낌이 좀 있다면 ridicule은 아예 이제 그 사람을 낮게 보고 굉장히 기분 나쁘게 좀 비난을 하는 것 같은 그런 비웃는 것을 말합니다.
I'll give you an example. So he obviously was ridiculing her. Oh, now sales girls can become world leaders. That's ridiculing someone. But if her close friend in government said, oh, you're only 34 years old and leading, do you need your afternoon nap? If they're close friends, that's mocking her. That's teasing her out of love.
Yeah.
But if someone else said that same thing, it could be seen as being ridiculing to her as well. So sometimes the line is very thin between mock and ridicule.
Absolutely. 누가 어떻게 말을 하느냐에 따라서 이게 같은 조롱이더라도 좀 이게 놀리는 게 될 수 있고 아니면 비웃는 게 될 수 있을 텐데요. 그런 차이점을 기억하시고 ridicule이 조금 더 이제 기분 나쁘다 하시면 되겠습니다. Let's listen to the story one more time.
Estonia's president has apologized after his country's interior minister mocked Finland's new prime minister, the world's youngest-serving government leader. Mart Helmu, 70, the leader of the populist far-right party EKRE, ridiculed Finland's Sanna Marin, 34, and her government, saying, now we see how one salesgirl has become a prime minister and how some other street activists and non-educated people have also joined the cabinet on his party's radio talk show on Sunday. Marin, who has spoken out about growing up in a disadvantaged family, worked as a cashier before studying at university and embarking on a political career.
자, 두 번째 뉴스 포커스입니다. 이번 주 빌보드 차트에서 역대급 역주행 사건이 벌어졌습니다. 매년 크리스마스 시즌마다 세계 곳곳에서 울려 퍼지는 머라이어 캐리의 대표적인 크리스마스송이죠. All I Want for Christmas is You가 발표된 지 무려 25년 만에 빌보드 차트 1위에 오른 건데요. Let's listen to the story.
Mariah Carey's holiday juggernaut, All I Want for Christmas Is You, just this week topped the Billboard Hot 100 for the first time in the song's 25-year history. The newfound chart dominance of All I Want for Christmas, it climbed as high as number 3 last holiday season, can be chalked up to any number of factors, including nostalgia, the ever-growing influence of streaming services, and the fact that All I Want for Christmas has aged remarkably well. Now, at least for this particular week in December 2019, Carey's classic doesn't just represent the last word in holiday songs, it's the last word in songs, period.
It's the first time a song has reached number 1 after 25 years.
Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. Wow.
This is a holiday staple. Everybody listens to this song during the holiday season. If you're bored and you want to have a little bit of fun, go on YouTube and just search Mariah Carey, Jimmy Fallon, All I Want for Christmas. Jimmy Fallon is the late night talk show host.
Yeah.
And they do this version with the kids where they play on children's instruments. And it's really quite fun. They do it with the Roots as well. Anyway, yes, after 25 years, last year it got to number 3, but this year it got to number 1.
그렇습니다. 25년 만에 1위를 한 곡으로는 처음이라고 하죠. 자, 여기 보면 여러 가지 표현이 나와 있는데 this can be chalked up to a lot of factors.
Yes, that's right. So chalk up to in this context means the reason for something. So basically they're saying, well, the reason that this went to number 1 could be for any number of factors. The reason this went to number 1 can be chalked up to many different factors.
We have the Jimmy Fallon video on our Boy는 Radio right now.
Yeah, so that's the one. It's so fun. Actually, that's a regular segment. Side note, sorry.
Yeah.
That's a regular segment on Jimmy Fallon's show where the Roots is the band, and Jimmy Fallon and then the visiting singer, they sing one of the singer's songs together,
Yeah.
but they do it on children's instruments. And it's really, really fun.
Very nice.
And you see at the bottom of the script there, the children, they pop up every once in a while. Yeah, to include themselves in the song.
Wow.
Really fun.
그렇습니다. 자, chalk up to 뭐뭐뭐라고 하면은 무엇 때문으로 여기다. 원인이 뭐뭐다 이런 뜻이에요. 상황에 따라서는 뭐 누구의 탓으로 돌리다라고 볼 수도 있지만 여기서는 이제 좋은 거니까요. 그 원인으로는 노스탈지아도 있을 수 있고 그러니까 이제 뭐 향수병 같은 거죠. 옛날이 생각난다. 내지는 이제 그 노래 자체가 좋고 또 마라이어 캐리가 워낙 잘 불렀고 여러 가지 이유가 있을 수 있겠죠.
If you gain some weight after the holiday and you're thinking, why did I gain weight? Why did I gain weight? Well, you can just chalk it up to the holiday season.
Yeah.
Everybody gains weight during the holidays.
True. Well, this song has aged remarkably well.
This is a really good expression to learn when we are talking about old music or old movies, right?
Or old people.
Yeah, you can use it about people.
I can think of a few.
George Clooney.
George Clooney, I was going to say, yeah.
George Clooney has
Oh, my
aged
goodness.
remarkably well.
Very well.
Tom Cruise has aged remarkably well. Remarkably is the additional word here in the expression, but
Yeah.
the expression is to age well. So it means that as something has gotten older, the quality has stayed just as good. So if we're talking about this song, then you can say, oh, this song, All I Want for Christmas Is You, it came out 25 years ago, but it still sounds great.
Yeah.
So when we say that, that means the song has aged well. Maybe a movie came out in 1986, Top Gun. And when you watch Top Gun, Tom Cruise, you think, wow, this movie could come out in 2019 and still be good. Then you say the movie has aged well.
네, 여기서의 age는 동사인데요. 나이가 들다라는 뜻으로 평소에 쓰지만 여기서는 이제 마치 좋은 와인처럼 시간이 지날수록 뭔가가 더 좋아질 때 쓸 수 있는 표현입니다.
One, I know we're over time, but one quick final example. We have the negative. It has not aged well. For example, the horror movie Chucky, you know, the little doll. You watch it now.
I hate that movie.
It's so stupid now. But at the time, it was so terrifying. That movie has not aged well at all.
그렇군요. Okay, let's listen to this story one more time.
Mariah Carey's holiday juggernaut, All I Want for Christmas Is You, just this week topped the Billboard Hot 100 for the first time in the song's 25-year history. The newfound chart dominance of All I Want for Christmas, it climbed as high as number 3 last holiday season, can be chalked up to any number of factors, including nostalgia, the ever-growing influence of streaming services, and the fact that All I Want for Christmas has aged remarkably well. Now, at least for this particular week, in December 2019, Carey's classic doesn't just represent the last word in holiday songs, it's the last word in songs, period.
Let's remind our listeners of the quiz again.
Quiz question this morning. Decades ago, even when we didn't have smartphones or tablet PCs, there were plenty of toys and games that children enjoyed. Among them was number 1, top spinning, number 2, AlphaGo, number 3, smart speakers.
네, 총 5분께 고칼슘 쌀룬 두유 보내드리겠습니다. 계속 정답 보내주시고요. Mariah Carey의 바로 그 노래 All I Want for Christmas Is You 듣고 오겠습니다. 자, 다음 뉴스 포커스 살펴보겠습니다. 얼마 전 인천에서 현대판 장발장 사건이 보도가 됐었죠. 30대 아버지가 배고픔을 참지 못해 어린 아들과 마트에서 우유와 사과 등 식료품을 훔치다 적발된 뒤 눈물을 흘리며 선처를 호소했는데요. 이분들의 딱한 사연이 알려지면서 국민들의 온정의 손길이 이어지고 있다는 소식입니다. Let's listen to the story.
On Tuesday, a father, 34, and a son, 12, were caught stealing 2 cartons of milk, 6 apples, and some drinks from a store in Incheon. The father said he was in dire need trying to feed his hungry family. The father, a cab driver, has been unable to work for 6 months due to health issues. The store owner forgave the family and begged for them to receive light punishment. A police officer then took the father and son to a restaurant and bought them a meal, and a customer who heard about the family's circumstances visited the restaurant and gave the man an envelope containing 200,000 won.
네, 아들들을 키우고 또 노모를 모시는 이 34세의 한 남성이 너무너무 배고파서 한 10,000원어치가 되는 사과와 우유 막 이런 음료를 훔치다가 적발이 됐었는데요. 눈물을 흘리면서 정말 잘못했다. 너무 배가 고파서 그랬다. 이 소식이 알려진 이후에 사람들이 이 마트에 찾아가서 뭐 작게는 이제 사과 한 봉지를 사서 그 가족에게 전달해 주세요. 또 어떤 가족은 뭐 라면 한 박스를 사서 전달해 주세요. 많은 분들은 또 전화를 해서 계좌번호를 알려주시면 이체를 하겠습니다. 이런 이제 따뜻한 손길들이 계속 이어지고 있어요.
It's a really lovely story. And I read too that the community, they're going to help the father find some work.
맞아요.
Which is great.
앞으로 그래서 이 원래 택시기사인데 몸이 좀 다치는 바람에 한동안 수입이 없었대요. 그래서 더 많이 힘들었었다고 하는데 이 지역에서 또 앞으로 일거리를 찾을 수 있도록 적극적으로 나서서 도와준다고 합니다.
Yeah, and I don't have any ill will, and I don't think anyone has any ill will towards this father and son for stealing in the first place, because we are human beings,
Yeah.
and we have a responsibility to take care of our family, and if that means stealing, then that means stealing, right? If the worst case scenario that's what it is, then I would have done it too.
맞아요. 사실 이렇게 훔치기 전까지 몇 끼니를 계속 굶었었다라는 얘기도 그 아버지가 했었는데 이제 그 아이는 이제 학교에서 무료 급식을 또 받을 수 있도록 조치를 취한다고 하고요. 많은 어쨌든 이제 따뜻한 그런 손길들이 이어지고 있어요.
I want to give everyone a hug in this story.
맞아요.
The shop owner, wonderful to say, please don't punish them too much. The police officer for taking them for a meal. The man who came and said, here's 200,000 won. The community who said, let's find work for. I mean, it's just a wonderful.
It's wonderful.
It's humans doing what we do well.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, the family that we're talking about here, in this case, the father and son, they were in dire need of food.
Yes, if you are in dire need of something, now the real meaning is it's an emergency, right? If you have been shot, right, by a gun, you are in dire need of medical assistance.
Yep.
That's the real meaning. But we use this very casually as well. For example, if you are very tired, you can say, "Oh, what a long day. I am in dire need of a nap." Now, that does not mean it's an emergency, but it's just how we use this expression casually to say that I really, really need something.
그렇습니다. A dire situation이라고 하면은 대단히 심각한, 끔찍한 상황이라는 뜻이고, I'm in dire need of something. 그러면 굉장히 절실하게 뭔가 필요하다 이런 뜻입니다.
So he was in a dire need of trying to feed his family, but the store owners forgave the family and begged for them to the police, I assume, to receive light punishment. So beg is please times 1 million. Times 10 million. So is it saying, if you want, don't punish them too much? No. Is it saying, oh, please don't punish them too much? No. It's please, I'm begging you, please do not punish them too much.
네, 그렇습니다. 마트 주인이 사연을 알고 나서 처벌을 원치 않는다 이렇게 얘기를 했는데요. 이 기사에서는 처벌을 원치 않는다고 beg했다 이런 표현이 쓰였어요. 물론 뭐 구걸이라는 뜻이 있지만 조금은 느슨하게 여기서 해석을 할 수 있을 것 같습니다. Okay, let's listen to this story one more time.
On Tuesday, a father 34 and a son 12 were caught stealing 2 cartons of milk, 6 apples, and some drinks from a store in Incheon. The father said he was in a dire need trying to feed his hungry family. The father, a cab driver, has been unable to work for 6 months due to health issues. The store owner forgave the family and begged for them to receive light punishment. A police officer then took the father and son to a restaurant and bought them a meal, and a customer who heard about the family's circumstances visited the restaurant and gave the man an envelope containing 200,000 won.
What is the answer to the quiz?
Quiz question today. The answer is, we're short on time, so I'll go straight to the answer. Number 1, top spinning, right?
네, 그렇습니다. 1번 정답 맞춰주신 최원성님, 류연수님, 정우현님, 7136님, 8781님 축하드립니다. 고칼슘 살룬 두유 보내드릴게요. Steve, what is your expression of the day?
Ring a bell. So if something rings a bell, it sounds familiar. And we use this a lot when we're talking to our friends. Oh, do you know about this thing? So I asked you, Hot Wheels. The name Hot Wheels. Does that ring a bell? So I'm asking you, the name, does it ring a bell? Does it sound familiar to you? Do you know about that? But we use this with people's names. Oh, John Turner. Does that name ring a bell? Or you can answer John Turner. Nope, doesn't ring a bell. It means that does not sound familiar to me.
들어본 적이 있는 것 같다라고 할 때 it rings a bell. 들어본 적이 없는 것 같다. That does not ring a bell. 이렇게 할 수 있겠죠.
Yeah.
Steve, alarms, phones, diddy. Does that ring a bell?
Literally.
No, too much, I think. All right, thank you so much, Steve, for this morning.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me. As always, have a wonderful day, and I'll be back tomorrow.
All right. Well, taking Steve out of the studio now is a song by Cheryl Lynn. This has got to be real, and I'll be back in hour 2.